The RX-104FF Penelope. A strange HG. I guess in the sense of nobody ever thought that Bandai would make an HG Penelope or XE, and I'm glad to see them, though I would have preferred master grades. But with the size of both of these kits, a master's grade size Penelope and XE would be more along the lines of a 1/160 of scale, in terms of height and such. It's a very odd kit, to be honest with you, as I'm not much of a fan of HGs, and I was trying to finish this kit for the release of Hathaway's Flash, which I missed by a long shot. But I will say this about it. With enough time and painting and messing around with it, it grew on me. Before I was indifferent towards the model kit, but after finishing, I began to see an aesthetic beauty to it that somehow eluded me before. I will say that it's not that great to pose, and frankly, after messing around with the RG High New Gundam, it's even less awe-inspiring as far as the posing front. At best, you could say that this model kit is just basically display candy, really. It's almost like a big brick. Granted, you could take the armor off and turn it into the Odysseus Gundam, but the Odysseus Gundam isn't that much to write home about as an HG. Even after painting it, you would still need to put a decent level of effort into panel lining and adding some extra details to really make it pop. Don't get me wrong, the Odysseus, after painting it, does feel cool, but still, it's a plain Jane as far as model kits go. But most likely, the real issue here isn't the kit itself, it's the fact that it's an HG. If you like this kit, I would highly recommend it. I mean, if you like the design, then it's a must-have. I will say that people keep asking me, how did you do the eyes? I did silicone molding of the original parts and then made clear versions of those. That is another, at least around $100 investment on your part to create these. Unless you have a 3D printer and clear resin, then it's a $30 part. But since I don't have any clear resin or the CAD or 3D modeling skills needed to accurately reproduce the exact same specs of the original piece, I felt it was a far less greater headache to just simply make a silicone mold. There are other ways of doing it that are more, and then I painted it red, obviously, and added LEDs, and that's why my Odysseus Gundam / Penelope has the ability to light up in its head. Is it worth the effort? That all depends on you. I will say that clear resin I was using definitely stinks, and it takes around 24 hours for it to cure. The bubbles is an issue, and a lot of people sit there and go, oh, just get like a decompressor or something like that. Back on subject, you can also take apart the Penelope Gundam and put it in full-fledged chicken mode. Or the bird mode, I don't even know what it's called, and I kind of don't care that much. I'm not sure if you do. It is cool though. I mean, it's something to look at, and it's cool to have them next to each other on display. But it's not a pose monster. It's not a pose machine. And I know a lot of people sit there and go, oh, posing, posing, posing. It seems to be all Gunpla fans in America seem to care about. Can you pose it? And frankly, there's not much more I can say about it. It's a decent HG. It doesn't really tick all my boxes, but with a little bit of effort and work on your part to make it look better, you can really make this kit pop, and then it comes to life at that point. Once you put in the paint work and the decals, you can really see what this thing has to offer. Also, if you have the time, which I don't, you can always customize it with your own scribing work. I mean, there's so much free space here. You can just go nuts, honestly. Would I recommend this HG? Not really, unless you're really into Hathaway's Flash. Unless you're really into this design. Unless you really just want the battle effect parts where it's the Penelope versus the XE. Then have at it, go for it. But if you're a casual Gunpla fan that just wants the best kits or the coolest or posability or top on your priority with the most detail and so on, this I would say is a complete and utter miss. That's going to do it for me, and I know most likely if you're watching this, you're like, hey, where's the High New Gundam? It's still in the editing table, man. Cut me some slack here.